Thanks so much for your time. I am Pius Kojo Baka. And looking at our stories, and government has announced that it is still working on newly discovered oil reserves in the country that will help improve revenue from the sector. Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam disclosed this at the Future of Energy Conference in Accra. He announced that they hope to use this additional revenue to finance some critical capital projects.
In 2007, the subsequent production commencing in 2010. We have so far distributed crude oil revenues of approximately $10.6 billion as of today to the allowable designated accounts provided for in the Petroleum Revenue Management Act. Even though annual crude oil receipts constitute a little over 1% of GDP in Ghana, we still have a vast potential in this sector. We are thus working on developing the newly discovered fields with significant reserves to ensure that we generate additional revenues to support our development efforts. All these fields, when developed, will increase Ghana's revenues and allow us to implement various government projects to help put in place the infrastructure required to advance our country sustainably.
All right, so let's have a discussion on the back of this. Joining us via Zoom is energy strategist Dr. Yusuf Suleimana. Thanks so much, Dr. Suleimana, for joining us on Business Live. Sounds interesting to know we've made some new oil discoveries, and of course, currently there's been work being done on them. Your comments?
Thank you very much, and good evening to you, Pius, and to your cherished listeners and viewers in Ghana and across the globe. Yes, of course, if you look at our upstream, I have always said that the upstream has been in a state of inertia for quite some time. Why I'm saying that is the fact that if you look at where we started producing oil in commercial quantities, somewhere 2010, after now, one would have been expecting that we should have been able to catapult our production portfolio to 500,000 barrels of oil per stream day. Pius, as we speak now, we are just struggling to cross 150,000 barrels of oil per stream day in terms of our production portfolio from the three fields, two from tallow fields, and then the one from E&I fields. So yes, if we are getting a potential discovery coming up, and I believe the minister was talking about the Voltaire Basin, because that's to the best of my knowledge. The other existing field, I don't see, though we have some kind of infield drilling, planned infield drilling within the tallow area, E&I area, I don't know of any new field that is coming. But of course, if it is Voltaire Basin, that is an excellent one, and I've always pushed for the fact that we need to be able to take care of our own destiny. Voltaire Basin will be a game changer if it goes to prove that we are able to extract oil in commercial quantities. But Pius, I will say that we are a little bit far away from that. Now we're going to drill some appraisal wells as we speak, just to be able to test the kind of data that we have. Whether there's one thing having the data, but the ability to be able to churn the data out into, the black gold, that is what is critical. But it goes through stages. So my understanding is that they are going through some approval processes to be able to start, the initial drilling, just to test whatever 3D data that we have, whether it is credible, we can transfer that data into the liquid gold, which is crude oil or not. But until we are able to drill those wells to ascertain whether we can get the oil in commercial quantities, I think it will be early to celebrate. However, the whole entire Voltaire Basin is an excellent project, and we need to ensure that we let it come to fruition. And I'm told the data coming out so far is looking promising, Pius.
Looking promising, you say, but how can we leverage on these reserves to ensure that it generates the necessary revenue for the sector?
Yeah, so first of all, we have to get it realized, the revenue realized. And then the question you asked, which is very good, we have to learn from our past mistakes. Of course, if you look at the way the oil revenue has been distributed over the years, I think we can do better in the way that, and even look at the amount that is coming from the oil. It's not that much, to what is coming to the government of Ghana, but we are doing a lot with that. And so if we can learn from wherever that oil revenue that we have received until now, or up to this stage, how we have utilized it. Have you utilized it judiciously? If you ask me, I'll say no, we can do better. I will always say that, and I'm happy that now probably GMPC is coming back to Exploco. Exploco was set up as a vehicle to be able to do the EMP, the core business, which is exploration and production. That Exploco should be made to take in charge of the Votain Basin. And I think that is what is happening. If that is not happening, that's what they have to do. And if Exploco is made to take in charge, let them get involved in the core business. If they do that, and we have a vehicle like Exploco to be in charge of this EMP business of GMPC, I think we can do something substantial with the field. Great. And then, other than that, if you don't do that and we go business as usual, I think it's going to be difficult for us going forward, Pius.
All right. So, what in your view is going to be the impact of this discovery we are talking about, the Votain Basin, on the sector as a whole, if well harnessed?
Yeah, huge benefits. Look at the content we are receiving. I call it peanuts. If you look at Ghana's shares from all the three fields, the maximum first 13, 15, and 20 percentage. If we have a field that we can even have up to 50%, and I can tell you that if the Votain Basin goes to fruition, and even any partner that we're going to partner with, and we don't do the wrong thing that we did with respect to the contract that we signed, and the important thing also, if we can harness our potential in terms of technology to be able to leverage on that and increase our shares, if we do that, it's going to be huge, Pius. So if you look at even the content that we are getting with respect to the shares that we have, and if we can take a Votain Basin and even a partner that we can partner with, even 50% of a share within Votain Basin, depending on the content that is coming, is going to do great wonders. All right. Of course, the right use of the revenue is always crucial when it comes
Dr.
to...
I'll plead with you to hold on for me as we take the story about the downstream sector, where oil marketing firm Star Oil has emerged as the second biggest retail firm in the industry. And this was based on a data covering volumes of products sold ending June this year. My colleague George Yafe has the rest of the story, so you respond to that subsequently.
Development can be described as not that surprising based on how Star has fared over the past years. From number 2 in 2022 to now second in the industry. But another interesting development is that Star is closing the gap with market leader Govt. Data seen by Joy Business shows that while Govt had the market share pegged at 13.9% ending June, Star was doing 11.4%. However, there are some who want to argue that this is just half-year data. Well, in 2023, Star Oil ended the year with 10.3% as market share, while Govt had 16.3%. Star Oil has a strategy of some competitive pricing, or in some cases, very low prices compared to the other top oil marketing firms in the country. There are currently more than 100 oil marketing firms in Ghana, and posting these numbers can be described as interesting. Some market watchers have also argued that Star's growth can be linked to the fact that more consumers of petroleum products are now more price sensitive.
All right, so there you have it, your quick reaction.
Pius, and that's going to be very interesting, especially if we have these three major ones. We have Shell, Total, and Govt. They've almost taken the market, and it got to a time we almost see similar figures coming up from this three field. And the reason why they did it, why did Govt become the market leader now? Because they did that through price. Because and that's what a very interesting thing for the OMCs to look at. We have volumes and we have price. Sometimes you need to churn out more volumes, and you can still make out the profit that you need. Just reduce the price. Once you are still within the profit margin, reduce the price a little bit, churn out more volumes, and you'll be in business. And I think that's what Star has done. And your report rightly mentioned that. See, consumers are becoming price sensitive, and that's very clear. And I see that as positive thing for the industry, in the sense that I think consumer will have multiplicity of choices. Not our only three big players. We have another player emerging, especially a local player, and I think that's a very fantastic news, which will go ahead to, which will go in a long way to impact the downstream positively. And consumer will be the the winner at the end of the day in this development, Pius.
BusinessLive, we appreciate your thoughts, sir. Now, away from that, the Bank of Ghana is now making the nomination of next of kin a critical requirement for opening an account in the country. This was contained in a new update on requirements for account opening. There is more in this report. The announcement by the Bank of Ghana is part of review of the Know Your Customer policy when it comes to account opening in the country. This is part of the Bank of Ghana's requirement that seeks more information for persons opening an account with a financial institution or when one is carrying out some financial transaction. The Bank of Ghana in the notice maintained for the purpose of account opening, this refers to an account holder's closest living relative who can be contacted in an event the account holder is not reachable. The central bank in the statement maintained that the account holder will be required to provide the name, address, and telephone number of the person nominated by next of kin. It also went ahead to add that this next of kin should be capable of providing relevant information about the depositor when the need arises, adding that this next of kin should be of legal age. The Bank of Ghana was, however, quick to add that the next of kin here in relation to account opening does not inherit or gain access to the account or funds of the account of the deceased. The Bank of Ghana went ahead to clarify that this next of kin here can have access to the account only if that person has been named in the deceased customers as well as beneficiary of the account, and a court of competent jurisdiction have also granted the letters to this next of kin. So we want to understand this directive further. Let's get on to Zoom and speak to the Assistant Director of Financial Stability Department at the Bank of Ghana, Augustine Donko, for some quick explanation to all of these. Thanks so much, Mr. Donko, for joining us on Business Live. I want you to explain to us what this new next of kin directive is all about.
Thank you very much.
Kindly go ahead, sir.
I'm not too sure if it is new. In fact, I wouldn't say it is new. It is just a bit of the misconception about it. Yes, next of kin has always been next of kin. So what it is as part of every financial institution, it's about you. Okay, so as we all know, before you open an account, your telephone number, what it is that even by regulation, the financial institutions would have to have some basic information about you. Now, this information includes the next of kin, the next of kin. From our sensitization activities across the country, we observe that there is a great deal of misconception about the role of the next of kin comes to banking relations at this point, and hence the role of the next of kin is just so, like you rightly said, or our application said, usually it is somebody who is closely related to the account holder. So usually you find people choose their parents, their children, their spouses, etc., as the next of kin. Now, what this person does is to more or less be available in times when the financial institution is not able to reach out to the account holder. So, for instance, there is an issue. Maybe a particular account has been dormant for quite some time. The financial institution is trying to reach the account holder to prompt them to take measures to reactivate the account or to find out what is going on. Or it could be anything. They've gone through or they've used all the communication channels the account holder provided. They are unable to reach this person. Then the next thing that they will do will be to fall on this person who has been nominated by that.
All right. Mr. Donko, I'll plead with you.
As the next of kin, okay?
I'll plead with you to, make it snappy for us. But Going forward, how would you describe to us when you say that the next of kin cannot inherit funds of the deceased? What does that mean?
Next of kin.
Apologies, it seems we've lost Mr. Donko there. We shall bring him on subsequently to explain to us some of the directives they've issued in relation to next of kin when you're opening an account, basically. Still watching Business Live. We are back with a Joy Business Fan. Thanks so much for being part of Business Live for tonight. I am Pius Kojo-Baka. We've got more stories for you when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Do visit the portal. See you at 8 p.m. with Prime Business.